Town Council, Monday, April the 16th, 2018, 2 p.m. in Council Chambers. So we'll call the meeting to order and first do some adoption of regular open minutes of April the 3rd. We have a motion. Thank you. Councillor King, Councillor Campbell, all in favor? Thank you. Business arising? None. Introduction of late items. There are no late items, but the next part is that the agenda of April the 16th be amended by moving a portion of item K5 to be for delegations. So I'm going to ask for a motion to amend this. Thank you. Councillor Rhodes, Councillor Youngberg, all in favor? Thank you very much. The agenda is adopted as amended, and I will ask Mr. Romenko to make a quick report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. I've been asked by Council to provide a portion of my regular CAO's report at the beginning of the meeting as opposed to the end. The CAO report basically reports on activities of the administration over the past couple of weeks. This portion of this report relates to the alleged actions of the Brandon Jensen Memorial Foundation to establish a supportive recovery center at number 5 Harbor Key, and this particular allegation has been very time-consuming for staff and council and created a stressful environment for the neighborhood and the community as a whole. The town has received complaints of an alleged illegal operations of a supported recovery center, and that information and information from the complainants feel is supportive of the information to their complaint. The town initiated a first-level enforcement action, which included letters to parties who are deemed by the town to be party to the alleged illegal actions. Response has been received by the town to the letters. Information was shared with the town that the Brandon Jensen Foundation is not operating a supportive recovery center at number 5 Harbor Key and has subsequently decided to abandon their efforts to establish a supportive recovery facility in Osoyoos. Actions in the home are directly related to the residential rental of the property.
Thank you very much. So we will now go on to delegations, and our first delegation is the presentation of some community service grant checks. So I'm going to ask, they're not directors this afternoon, you're just councillors. I called them a director this morning.
It's my second time being demoted.
So Councillor King and Councillor Campbell will present the checks.
You got to speak into the mic, though.
Yes.
Thank you.
Especially after being called a director.
He liked it.
This is one of my favorite things to do at council is hand out checks. Nobody can yell at me or get mad at me. First up is Bighorn Air Cadet Squadron.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
South Okanagan Integrated Community Service Society, Desert Sun Counseling.
Councillor Campbell, I think most people at the end, there is a group picture taken outside if we want to make sure everybody stays for that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Brock Patton.
Archery.
Osoyoos Gift Cupboard. Osoyoos Pickleball Club.
Okay, well used, my understanding. Yes, very good. This is what sun comes up.
Yes. Osoyoos Lake Paddle Club. Osoyoos Minor Baseball Association. You're welcome. Osoyoos Elks Lodge, number 436. Osoyoos Secondary School,
Still in school.
Osoyoos Elementary School PAC, Osoyoos Lake Water Quality Society. Thank you. Osoyoos Ambassador Committee, Osoyoos Fireworks Committee. Okay, thank you. Osoyoos Festival Society, thank you. McKinney Nordic Ski Club. International Curling Club Society,
Catch that word international.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Desert Park Exhibition Society, awesome.
Coming to the fair.
What's your title?
I'm so glad you explained that. It looks great. Desert Valley Hospice Society, thank you. Cactus Jalopies Car Club. Yep. Royal Canadian Legion. Osoyoos Elks Society. You again?
Don't say no one else.
So and that's it. Thank you very much.
And congratulations to all of you. See, I was fooling when I said we ran out of money, but now actually we have, so we're okay. Is there anyone here who has a camera and would like to take a group picture outside? Usually Richard is here. Is Andrew outside there? Okay.
Neil's there too with his camera.
Oh, good. So I'm thinking that council and all the recipients should go out and have a picture just outside here. That work?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to thank them all before they leave recorders off.
All here? Okay, next on our agenda is the audited financial statements. Mr. Zackel, please.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. So for council, this is to present the 2017 audited financial statements for the town of Osoyoos and Sun Bowl Arena for council's approval. I'd like to welcome Tessa King from Grant Thornton. She will be doing the presentation of the audit opinion for both the town of Osoyoos and Sun Bowl Arena financial statements, and then I'll speak as to the points of the financials.
Good afternoon, Mayor and councillors. My name is Tessa King from Grant Thornton, which was previously White Kennedy. We merged. There we go. Yes, so as I was saying, we were previously White Kennedy, but we merged with Grant Thornton on February 1st of this year. I'm here today to present the town of Osoyoos and Sun Bowl Arena audited financial statements for the year ended December 31st, 2017. As you're aware, management is responsible for the preparation and fair presentation of the financials in accordance with the relevant standards. Our responsibility is to express an opinion on these financials based on our audit. An audit involves performing procedures to obtain audit evidence about the amounts and disclosures in the financials. We believe that the audit evidence we obtained this year is sufficient to provide this opinion. As such, in our opinion, the financial statements present fairly, in all material respects, the financial position of the town of Osoyoos and the Sun Bowl Arena as at December 31st, 2017, as well as the statements of operations, changes in financial assets and cash flows for the year that ended. We would also like to thank Jim and the rest of the staff for their assistance during the course of the audit. Overall, it went very smooth this year as a result of their help. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Does anyone have any questions? I think as long as you're, oh, sorry, as long as you're happy with us, we're, yeah. Okay. Councillor Campbell.
Yeah, I'd like to move for council to approve the Town of Osoyoos and Sunbull Arena audited financial statements as presented.
I'll second that.
Thank you. And no other questions? And is there anything else you need to add, Mr. Zach? No, we're good?
No, other than I would just give you touch on some of the highlights of the financials.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
So, go ahead then.
Okay. So, for consolidated statement of financial position, we've had an increase in net financial assets of 1.8 million, which brings it to 6.196 million. Accumulated surplus has increased to $71,806,620. $65,324,000 of this is equity and tangible capital assets. Under our consolidated statement of operations, our excess revenue over expenditures is $7,094,636 in 2017. And of this, portions referenced below, there's a cash surplus in our three funds being general, sewer, and water of $1,255,000. And I just want to briefly touch on that. Under our general fund, we had a surplus of $833,413. This came from surplus revenues in our cemetery of $18,900, miscellaneous recoveries of $69,000, penalties on property taxes of $15,000, and I'm just talking in general terms rather than going to the nearest dollars. Miscellaneous income, $61,000, landfill revenues of $87,000, development services revenues, which is a really nice thing to see. We had excess revenues of $53,000 on return on investments, $56,000. We had a reduction of our landfill post-closure liability of $217,500. And what this is it was determined by our engineer that the landfill post-closure costs are substantially less than what they were proposed to be for the closure of it due to the new regulations that have come out. So we actually saw a big savings on that. Legislative expenditures was, we saved $8,000 on that. Administrative expenditures was under budget by $21,000. Civic building expenditures under by $15,000. Insurance and claims under by $20,000. Bylaw enforcement under by 10 or 9. Community development under by $10,000. Transportation and equipment under by $28,000. Community development. Storm drains under by $11,000. Landfill operations under by $54,000. Sonora utilities under by $18,000, and parks was under budget by $40,200. Our sewer fund had a surplus of $315,145. This came from additional sewer connection fees of $105,117, which was some connections out in the northwest sewer area, in the RDOS area. And our sewer expenditures were $331,000 under budget. Under our water fund, we had a surplus of $77,286, and this was a savings in our water expenditures of $77,300. So getting into some of our other notes, development cost charges, our parks DCCs had a balance of $715,000, roads DCCs $546,000, sewer DCCs $207,000, and water DCs $224,000. Our long-term debt, our general fund had increased to a balance of $6,535,402, and this is mainly due to the fire hall, which is $5.7 million of that, as well as our equipment financing through MFA. Our sewer fund decreased by $49,000 and has a balance of $279,128 in it. Water fund has decreased by $19,100 and has got a balance of $132,630. So as you see, our utility funds for both sewer and water are quite low. Reserve for future expenditures. Our general fund has $3,181,298. Our sewer fund has $1,208,204. Water fund has $2,364,024. And the cemetery care fund also has a balance of $90,742. And finally, of all, Sunbowl had a small surplus of $7,139 for the end of the year as well in 2017.
Thank you very much. And I just want to thank Grant Thornton and you, Tessa. Thank you so much for coming down and giving us a clean bill of health. And I just want to thank Mr. Zackel for all the hard work that he does in balancing our books and making sure that we have money when needed. So thank you very much. I know I saw you.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Councillor
Yeah, just on
King.
page 5, I was just curious where you said the sewer fund's $315, and then you got a connection fee of $105 is great, and then expenditure of $331,000. So how do you rationale back to $315? Second page on our
Oh, 315.
report. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's not right. That should have been 200.
Yeah.
Thank
There you
you.
go, Jim.
Yeah.
That's a good catch. That's a good catch. The financials are correct. My reporting is not.
Should be about 210.
Yes. I'd added that into that was what I did.
Okay, that's fine. Just curious how it... See, I do read it.
That is perfect.
Good. Anything else? Okay, so I think there was a motion earlier to, and I don't know whether we voted on that, did we?
didn't.
No.
So,
No, we didn't.
did we vote on it? No.
No, we didn't vote
Okay,
on it.
so the motion was, right, that we accept, that we approve the financial statements as presented?
Correct.
Okay, all in favor? Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
And next is the Water District and financial accounts. And the Water District cash requirements to April 16th are in the amount of $7,617.49. Thank you. Director Morera, Director Ray, all in favor. Thank you very much.
You got promoted, I got demoted.
Well, isn't he a director? No, he's not. Okay, I'm all mixed up today. So next is the Okanagan Basin Water Board highlights. And I was not at this meeting because that was the same day as we had council meetings. So my alternate, who is Mark Pendergraft, attended this. And of course, we heard from this morning from Miss Van Vienen about the concerns about water issues, and of course Okanagan Basin Water Board, which represents the 3 regional districts, looks after this and deals with it on an ongoing basis. One other thing that was announced last week that's not part of this report is that there was some federal funds for LIDAR, and it's light detection and ranging, and it's laser sensing, and what it does is allow all the communities to have an updated floodplain mapping. So we have better tools for planning where runoff and where streams and rivers could flow in terms of flooding years. So it's very appropriate to get this. Quite a lot of money, over $1 million, I think, to do this, and it's done via the air, and they will be putting that out, and it's for all 3 regional districts, plus ONA is involved with it as well. So we think that this is a good thing, and there was a special announcement last week on this. Water conservation, rain barrels, many communities are looking at how they can better prepare for the spring freshet, because we were caught a little off guard last year, but this year I think people will be expecting it and be a little bit better prepared. So could we have a motion to accept this report? Thank you very much. Councillor Rhodes, Councillor Youngberg, all in favor. And next is the Museum Parcel Tax Amendment Bylaw. Mr. Zackel.
Thank you. In 2011, the RDOS adopted the Osoyoos Museum Service Establishment Bylaw 2553 for electorals Area A and the town of Osoyoos, which received elector assent on the 5th of June 2011. The referendum in 2011 stated that the annual cost would be allocated as a flat charge to all taxable properties in electoral Area A and the town of Osoyoos. This bylaw was established to enable the purchase of the future museum property currently occupied by Osoyoos Home Builders. A parcel tax bylaw was created in 2013 in order for the town of Osoyoos to collect a portion owing to the RDOS for the service. The RDOS requisitions the town annually and establishes the parcel tax rate to be charged. The town needs to annually update their parcel tax bylaw to ensure the rate is consistent with the rate being charged to the Area A residents. The 2018 rate established is $14.64. So before council is Amendment Bylaw 1300.03 2018, which is being brought forward for council's consideration. So options before council to give first three readings to Museum Parcel Tax Amendment Bylaw 1300.03 2018. Option 2, to maintain existing Bylaw 1300.02 2015. And the recommendation before council is to keep this, or option number 1, to keep this rate charge consistent between the town and the RDOS for 2018.
Thank you. Councillor Rhodes.
Thank you, Mayor McCord. I'll move option 1.
Thank you. Councillor Campbell seconding that. I think this makes perfect sense, so it's kind of a no-brainer. Okay, and it does adjust a little bit each year, Mr. Zackel, am I correct? Sometimes it goes up or down just a little bit?
Usually goes down.
Usually goes down. Okay, good. That's even better. Okay, all in favor? Thank you very much. And next is the off-street Public Parking Regulation Amendment Bylaw. Mr. Davis.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Staff presented the Off-Street Public Parking Amendment Bylaw number 1274-03-2018 at the last meeting of Council on April 3rd. Council provided the first three readings, and staff is bringing the bylaw forward for adoption. Staff is bringing changes forward to Bylaw 1274-2010 to address fees associated with pay parking at the boat trailer parking lot and how it is managed. Currently, the service is managed by town staff and the Hotel Motel Association. Installing the service will make the system more efficient and will be economically beneficial as we move forward. Amendments to the section boat trailer parking are attached. The old Schedule B will be deleted and replaced with the following items: the daily rate of $5, the weekly rate of $30, and the monthly rate of $150. The unit we are installing will have the option of entering a license plate and paying by credit card only. Bylaw officers will check the vehicles by logging into the system and reviewing if any trailers are expired. If trailers have not paid for parking, they will be subject to fines and a wheel immobilizer, making it unmovable. In terms of implications for the community, keeping boat trailers off the street and providing a more efficient system to control the service. Organizational, staff involvement includes purchase of the machine and training to operate and maintain the self-service parking machine. In budget, it was a $20,000 capital budget. May the 1st is our target date. The parking lot is operational from May to September on an annual basis. And in terms of sustainability, this enhances the use of the parking lot, making it more efficient, and provides an opportunity for revenue generation to assist in sustaining the service into the future. The options before Council include number 1, for Council to adopt the Off-Street Public Parking Amendment Bylaw 1274-03-2018. Option 2, for Council to make changes to the Off-Street Public Parking Amendment Bylaw 1274-03-2018 and refer back to staff. Or option 3, for Council to abandon Off-Street Public Parking Amendment Bylaw 1274-03-2018. And the recommendation is option 1. This bylaw amendment will aid in the management and operation of the off-street parking service.
Thank you very much. Has the machine been delivered yet? Is it here?
It has been ordered last week, and it's 5 to 7 business days.
Okay.
It will be here soon, yes.
So is there a great deal of time to actually getting it operational? Do you have to bring in electric?
No, it runs by solar power. It's put on site. We have a merchant account set up with Mr. Zackel, and basically it's plug and play.
Good. Yes. Go ahead.
Thanks, Mayor McCordoff. Just one question. Will there be a sign up indicating who's allowed to put their trailers in there, or is it open to the public?
There will be a sign put up indicating exactly who can park and how they can park, etc. And we are actually just drafting that sign, I believe. There may be some changes to what we had now in place.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So the intended use will be listed, but in terms of changes, it will be open to the general public, and with the fees attached to it, it'll become a revenue generator to offset the costs.
Okay,
But
thank
we
you.
feel that the costs would be sufficient enough that it would deter residents from using it. It's more of a summer use for visitors.
Provision, right?
Yeah.
Just wanted everybody to know in the community. Lots of questions have been asked. So therefore, I would like to make a motion to...
Go ahead.
What
Go
are you
ahead.
laughing at?
No, he had his hand up, but you beat him to it, so
Oh.
go ahead.
Okay, just a continuation of my thoughts.
Okay.
For council to adopt the off-street public parking amendment bylaw 127403, 2018.
Good. That's option one.
I'll second that.
Thank you very much. Any other comments on this?
Turn the heat down.
All in favor? Thank you very much. We couldn't very well put it off if we wanted it, would we? Our next meeting is after the May 1st, so great. Thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing that. Will we get a free demonstration when it's in operation? Okay.
Good work.
Next
Slight
is
fee
the
or free.
housing agreement bylaw. Mr. Zackel.
Thank you. So before council's housing agreement bylaw 1343, 2018. Town Meadowlark subdivision is a 27-lot subdivision in Elkhart construction, entered into an option to purchase agreement with the town of Osoyoos to purchase these lots in 2016. From these 27 lots, 4 were to be designated as near market housing lots. Mr. Buckendall, solicitor, has now advised the town he wishes to proceed with the purchasing of 3 additional lots, being 11, 12, and 13, and funds for these 3 lots have been paid to the town. These 3 lots, including Lot 14, will be the properties Mr. Buckendall will develop and sell as near market housing lots. Bylaw 1343 is now being brought forward for council's consideration and includes the attached housing agreement and designation of lots 11 through 14 as their near market housing lots. Once this purchase is finalized, we'll have a total of 59% of the lots sold, which includes all 4 near market housing lots. Once the new bylaw is adopted, the restrictive covenant would be placed on lots 11, 12, and 13, and restrictive covenant would be removed from lot 16 at the developer's expense. This bylaw has been given first 3 readings at the April 13th special open meeting of council, and now is before council for adoption, and the recommendation would be option number 3. So option 1 was to give first 3 readings to housing agreement bylaw 1343-02 2018. Option 2 to redirect back to staff for further information, and option number 3 to adopt bylaw 1343 2018. And the recommendation is option number 3.
Okay. So we'll change that to
That was
option
my
3.
report from the 13th meeting.
Okay. Council? Councillor Rhodes.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. I will move option number 3 as reported by Mr. Zackel. And I'm
'Cause it's-
avoiding using the words because it's not on our report.
Right, yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
Is there a
But I think
seconder?
it was well covered, though.
Sure.
Thank you.
Is there a seconder for
I'll
that?
second.
Yep.
Thank you. Councillor King. All in favor? Thank you very much. And next is Mr. Zackel again. The 2018 Osoyoos tax rates bylaw.
Yes, so this is to update the tax rates bylaw for 2018 with the due date being July 3rd. The 2018 Osoyoos tax rates bylaw is in line with the 5-year financial plan and includes a 2.93% increase in property taxes. This is an increase of $71,000 in tax-based revenue, and new construction property taxation is $9,459. The 2.93% is to offset the increase in net operating costs. These numbers have been discussed thoroughly with council and are included in the town's 5-year financial plan bylaw that was adopted earlier this year. The budget for municipal portions of the tax requisitions are municipal of $2,501,675. general debt, $34,800, fire protection of $211,484, fire hall debt, $192,668, and policing, $850,000. The town of Osoyoos is also responsible for collecting and remitting taxes for other taxing authorities, which includes the school, which will receive those numbers from the ministry around the 10th of May. Hospital, $525,546. RDOS, which includes our Sunbowl Arena, $783,574. Okanagan Regional Library, $256,582. BC Assessment Authority, $81,393. And Municipal Finance Authority of $371. An average assessment for a single-family residence, which has an average or assessed value of $409,677, will pay $937.31 towards their municipal portion of taxes. And an average assessment for business that has an assessment of $271,656 would pay $961.65 for their municipal portion. Tax rates bylaws must be adopted by May 15th, as per Section 197 of the Community Charter. And implications under community, continued operation and enhancement of the municipality. Under budget, Osoyoos tax rates bylaw is in line with the 5-year financial plan bylaw. Significant dates, tax rate bylaw needs to be adopted no later than May 15th. Sustainability, working to ensure maintaining levels of services for the community and financial sustainability of the town. Options before council to give first 3 readings to Osoyoos tax rates bylaw 1344-2018. Option 2 to make further changes and bring forward to council. And a recommendation before our council is option number 1. The tax rates bylaw is in line with the 5-year financial plan bylaw and needs to be adopted no later than May 15th, as legislated by the Community Charter.
Thank you very much. Councillor Campbell.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. I'd like to give the first 3 readings to Osoyoos tax rates bylaw 1344-2018.
Thank you. Councillor King, seconding that motion. It seems fairly straightforward. All in favor? Thank you very much. And next is the Animal Control and Licensing Amendment Bylaw. Mrs. Hilson.
Animal Control and Licensing Bylaw number 1316 was adopted in 2016. Council read Animal Control and Licensing Amendment Bylaw number 1316-01 for the first, second, and third time at the April 3rd regular open meeting. This amendment bylaw is to make the impoundment fees for licensed dogs the same as the MTI fines for dogs at large. Currently, there are 2 different rates for each, and staff are recommending that the same charges be for both bylaws to ensure consistency. So overview, Schedule D impound fees are being replaced and updated in the Animal Control and Licensing Bylaw, number 1316. And so for options before council are that 1, Animal Control and Licensing Amendment Bylaw number 1316-01 be adopted. 2, that Animal Control and Licensing Amendment Bylaw 1316-01 be referred back to staff for changes and be read for a 3rd time. Or 3, that Animal Control and Licensing Amendment Bylaw number 1316-01 be abandoned. And staff are recommending option 1, that council reads Animal Control, that council adopts Animal Control and Licensing Amendment Bylaw.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Hilson, for doing this. Councillor Rhodes.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. I'll move the recommended option number 1.
Thank you. Councillor Campbell is seconding that. Any comments on it? No, we've dealt with it before. All in favor? Thank you. And next is the Municipal Ticket Information Amendment Bylaw. Mrs. Hilson.
Thank you. Council gave Municipal Ticket Information Amendment Bylaw number 1279-15, 2018, the first 3 readings at the April 3rd regular open meeting. The Animal Control and Licensing Bylaw number 1316, which was just currently adopted, the amendment bylaw was adopted, and the original bylaw was adopted in 2016. This amendment bylaw is to make the MTI fines for dogs at large the same as the impoundment fee, which is charged in the Animal Control and Licensing Bylaw. Currently, there are 2 different rates for each, and staff are recommending the same charges for both bylaws to ensure consistency. The Town of Osoyoos adopted the Cemetery Bylaw number 1337, 2017 in January of 2018. This amendment bylaw also updates the MTI bylaw schedule to be able to charge the appropriate fines for violations against the cemetery. The Town of Osoyoos is updating the off-street parking regulation bylaw number 1274, 2010, to allow for the use of self-serve ticket dispensing in the boat trailer parking lot. The MTI bylaw schedule needs to be updated to allow ticket users who fail to pay parking fees and to remove the parking without a permit offense. Overview, Schedules 1, 5, 6, and 13 are all being replaced and updated with the Municipal Ticket Information Amendment Bylaw number 1279, 2018. Options before Council is that the MTI Amendment Bylaw number 1279-15 be adopted. 2, that the MTI Amendment Bylaw number 1279-15 be referred back to staff for changes and be reread for a third time, or 3, that MTI Amendment Bylaw number 1279-15 be abandoned. And staff are recommending option 1, that Council reads MTI Information Amendment Bylaw number, that bylaw be adopted. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Youngberg.
Thanks, Mayor McCordoff. I'd like to make the motion of option number 1, that Municipal Ticket Information Amendment Bylaw number 1279-15, 2018 be adopted.
Thank you. Councillor Rhodes, seconding that. Any comments on this? No? We've been through it before, so thank you very much. All in favor? Thank you. That's carried. Next is the regular disposition of land, Sage Pub, and that would be Mr. Davis.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. At the February 19th meeting of Council, a resolution was passed to support the Sage Pub hosting a licensed beer garden on the beach across from the pub. This will be part of the Cactus Jalopies Car Show. Staff is bringing forward a draft land use agreement for consideration. The Sage Pub will apply to get a licensed beer garden on the beach, and Council has approved the area. In order to move forward, a land use agreement is required that identifies fees and limitations on the use of the land. The Sage Pub has identified that a portion of the proceeds will be donated to a local nonprofit organization. The funds raised will be provided to the Cactus Jalopies organization, and they will choose who will receive the donation. They will either do a lump sum donation or will donate a portion of the food sold. The area in question is approximately 1,000 square feet. The event will be scheduled from 5 to 10 p.m. on Thursday, May 31st, and this event will be open to all ages and is a family-type event. In terms of implications for the community, this event has been embraced by the community and is one of the largest events of the year. Organizational, special event application, and liaisoning. Significant dates, May the 31st is the start of the car show, and sustainability. Expanding and improving the event will keep the event a fixture for many years. The options before Council: for Council to approve the license and set a fee of $200 for the use of the land. Number 2, for Council to approve the license and set a fee of $150 for the use of the land. Option 3, for Council to approve the license and set a fee of $100 for the use of the land. Option 4, for Council to approve the license and provide the land at no cost. And Option 5, for Council not to approve the license at this time. And the recommendation is option number 2. Since the land is subject to a fee and only a portion of the proceeds will be going to a nonprofit organization, a nominal fee should be charged. A commercial rate for a building, a property, are $10 a square foot for a year. Therefore, above rates are presented for consideration. Article 25 of the Community Charter identifies limits that can be provided to businesses, and as such, administration feels this fee would be applicable. It is very difficult to determine a fee for a one-time use, but a nominal fees need to be considered.
Thank you. This is a bit tricky because I don't think we've dealt with something like this before. Councillor Campbell.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. I'd like to move option number 3 for Council to approve the license and set a fee for $100 for the use of the land.
Somebody else? Councillor Rhodes is seconding that. Did you want to? Anybody want to speak to that?
No, just looking at the idea that
options. Mm-hmm.
Well, just that part of the funds will be going to a local charity, and I think having the fee cut in half would be reasonable.
Okay. Anybody else? All in favor of the motion? Thank you. Thank you very much. And Ms. Van Vienen, election cost sharing agreements.
Thank you. Section 57 of the Local Government Act allows for the costs of an election to be shared under an agreement between the local government and another local government or a board of school trustees for the conduct of the election by one party for the other or in conjunction with an election of the other. The Town of Osoyoos Chief Election Officer has acted as the presiding election official for both the RDOS and the School District Number 53 for the advanced voting and general voting in past elections. Both parties have asked that this be done again for the 2018 elections with the inclusion of the second advanced voting opportunity. The attached cost-sharing agreements have been sent to both the RDOS and the school district for approval and are also being presented to council for approval. If there is no election required for the RDOS or the school district, the agreements would no longer be in effect. Implications to the community, cost savings for all parties, no organizational budget savings due to cost-shared economies of scale. Options: 1, that council approve the cost-sharing agreements with the RDOS and the school district number 53 for the 2018 elections and that the town signatories be authorized to sign, or 2, that council not approve the cost-sharing agreements, and staff recommend option 1.
Thank you. Councillor Rhodes.
Thank you, Member Kordoff. I'll move the recommended option number 1.
Thank you. And it's seconded by Councillor Youngberg. Anybody else like to speak to it? Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. A question. How do you base the expense? Just on hourly time put in?
It's all the expenses with the election officials and costs of equipment and paper and that sort of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ms. Van Vienen, is it based on a per capita, or how do you decide who pays for what?
There are limitations on what we could charge back to the school district, so that one is actually set out in legislation, and I'd have to review that. But for the RDOS, we usually have 4 or 5 tables for the town and 2 for the regional district, so we just charge them for the amount of staff that we need at those 2 tables.
Good. Thank you. Yeah. Did we vote on this?
No.
No. Okay.
Pass the motion.
All in favor of the vote? Thank you very much. And the next is Ms. Van Vienen again, the annual general meeting date.
Thank you. Section 98 of the Community Charter requires that municipalities prepare an annual report before June 30th of each year. Section 99 of the Community Charter requires that council must consider the annual report at a council meeting or other public meeting. The public has an opportunity to address council regarding the annual report. It is being suggested that the AGM be held the second meeting day of June, which would be June 18th, 2018. The meeting can be held on a day separate from the regular open meeting of council. However, it is convenient to hold it on the same day. 1 hour is being suggested for the meeting to allow for review of the annual report and for the public to address council. It is suggested that the AGM begin at 1 p.m. on June 18th, 2018, and that the regular meeting be advertised to begin immediately following the AGM, which would meet the notice requirements. Implications for the community: opportunity for the public to address council regarding the 2017 achievements. Organizationally, all directors to be in attendance. No budget concerns. Significant dates. Requirement under the Community Charter to prepare the annual report and schedule the AGM before the end of June. Options: that the annual general meeting for the Town of Osoyoos be held on Monday, June 18th, 2018 at 1 p.m. in the council chambers, and that the regular open meeting of council begin immediately following the AGM, or 2, that the annual general meeting be held on another date and time, and staff recommend option 1.
Thank you. Councillor King?
Yeah, I'll make a recommendation that the annual general meeting for the Town of Osoyoos be held on Monday, June 18th, 2018 at 1 p.m. in council chambers, and that the regular open meeting of council begin immediately following the AGM.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Campbell. All in favor? Thank you for setting that up. And next is the no notice of motion. Do we have that? No notice of motion, so we will go into reports. And this would be the general net payroll and the Sun Bowl Arena financial accounts. And to report on expenditures from accounts payable for council approval. General cash requirements to April the 16th are in the amount of $294,619.84, and Sunbowl cash requirements of $6,101.69. And those will both be moved by consensus. And net payroll accounts of $75,756.99, and that is for information. Okay, thank you. And the next is the building report, and this is always fun. I see that we have the total per month, even in this rainy, snowy, wet, cold weather, is $1,756,000, and total to date is $3,331,500, and total to date 2017 was down slightly at $2,990,000. So we have a couple of four of these are new single-family dwellings, and some interior alterations and a commercial kitchen alteration. So we're quite happy about seeing building like that going on. Do we need to accept that report? Yes. Okay. So thank you. Councillor Rhodes, Councillor Youngberg, all in favor. Thank you. And next is the bylaw enforcement report, and for the month of March, and it doesn't look like it's been terribly busy, although I know that that there are some complaints that have been dealt with, and there just seems to be fairly quiet. I don't think that that Mrs. Marshall has spent a whole ton of time dealing with too many things. I think one of the things she is concerned about is animals, dogs, and there always seems to be a few of those around in the parks and loose on the in the streets. So, and she's very good with those. She has just a real knack with dogs, so we're very fortunate. Anything else that anybody wanted to comment on there? And so that's also the infraction and the number of hours that it's been spent as well. So we're happy that it's been fairly quiet up until now. Okay, so we need the bylaw enforcement report received. Okay, thank you. Councillor Campbell, Councillor Youngberg, all in favor. No committee reports this time, and we will have the continuation of Mr. Romanko's CAO report, and thank you for bringing forward our one good news item a little earlier in the program.
Thank you. A few more of the activities that the administration has been involved in over the last couple of weeks, starting first in community services. The majority of our programs are at 100% capacity. Crafty Kids, Kids Can Cook, and swimming lessons are very popular. Reminder that the Volunteer Appreciation event is scheduled for April 21st, this Saturday at the Sonora Community Center. Medieval Fair is taking place at Desert Park on May 19th and 20th. Cardi Health Consulting has been hired to complete the age-friendly plan. They will be conducting meetings with stakeholders, and will have 3 open house sessions to get direct feedback. They will also have an online and hard copy survey for the general public to complete. Once dates are set, they will be advertised, and stakeholder groups will be contacted directly. We have ordered a parking machine for the boat trailer parking lot. It should be arriving this week. Corporate Services attended the Emergency BC Spring Readiness Workshop. Speakers from various agencies speaking on preparedness for flooding and fires. We had a number of people attend the elections workshop as well, and attended the regional employers meeting, working in flood preparation, arranging for sand and sandbags, working with the town of Oliver and RCMP on coordinated efforts with victim services, working with the town of Oliver on a joint emergency support service. We received a joint grant in the amount of $25,000 for emergency services training, equipment, and organization. A call for volunteers will be advertised in the Osoyoos Times, with the first educational session on May 26th. Planning and development, a lot of work related to the supportive recovery and the other issues related to the public hearing for later today. The downtown revitalization proposals, review and steering committee meeting with the selection of the proponent to complete the study. An ALR exclusion in progress for remainder of the property of the north of the Sonora Gardens for council. That'll be on the May 7th agenda. They've only had one response for the street vendors. That's a small ice cream vendor. And the department has been very busy with inquiries related to large vacant properties, and also enforcement on third-party signage in highway right-of-ways is proceeding, with some people, owners responding and removing their signs. In terms of myself, just a couple more of the things. We had a business planning lunch with all staff last week where we went over the year's action plan, and that was shared with everybody. I made a presentation to the Rotary Club on the planned activities of the town in 2018. At a bi-weekly conference call, update on the medical center feasibility study, with the main topics being the planning of the public consultation opportunities. And I also had a meeting of the Waterfront Steering Committee and discussed the latest plans for the Gyro Park Pier. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Could we have a motion to accept the report, please? Thank you. Councillor Rhodes, Councillor Youngberg. All in favor. And now we have councillor reports, and Councillor King, you're first.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just a couple of notes. I really want to thank all the volunteers in our town coming together, especially on the weekend, to support the Humboldt hockey team and their little disaster out there. And also I've had feedback on the bump outs on the main street of our town, and it's finally paved, so people are very happy with what's going on downtown, and hopefully it'll all be finished here within the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Looks like it will. Thank you very much. Councillor Youngberg.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. Yes, Main Street, great improvement, and we are going to see the results of that on our next flash rainstorm. Anyways, my kudos to the firemen for a wonderful fundraiser that they provided at the curling club, and it was just well attended. They made lots of money, and again, we're supporting the burn unit and many other nonprofit societies that they choose at a later time. Also, our winter training at Desert Park is over. They left today and left some money in our community, which I'm really happy about, and left our facility in grand shape. They've cleaned up, and we are going to continue doing landscaping and removing some of the puncture vine, which is so prevalent up in that area, as well as we have a new service up there, and it's a riding stable. So anyone in the community who would like to take some lessons on riding a horse or taking a horse out to different areas of that mountain area that sort of surrounds Desert Park, you're more than welcome. And the riding stable operators are there, and so please enjoy. And the AGM for Desert Park will be Wednesday at 7 o'clock at the Desert Park building. For all who would like to support Desert Park and keep that facility in terrific shape, please come along, become a member, and support us in our future endeavors. That's it. Thank you.
Good. Thank you very much. Councillor Rhodes.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. Well, it's incredible how a rant about a rant can still draw media attention. There will be no rant about a rant about a rant today, though. However, I would like to mention one thing somewhere in all of my comments over the last 2 meetings. I made a comment about Cottonwood Beach and plunging your hands into the sand and coming up with a couple of cigarette butts. Well, I'll be darned if I never got challenged on that. Somebody wanted to do a scientific analysis of my comment with the hopes of proving me wrong. It was a good friend of mine. There was a small little wager placed as a side bet to keep us well motivated and scientific about it. We walked down there, went down the stairs in the middle, and he asked me where I would like to see this experiment take place, and I pointed to a piece of sand that was about 3 to 4 feet away from the stairs. He got down on his hands and knees, plunged his hands into the sand and sifted it through, and came up with a cigarette butt. So I just wanted to mention that, not only because I found it kind of interesting that somebody would challenge me with that, but it was true. I have no idea if there was one a foot away from that or how many there is, but luckily for me it worked out well, and we took that little cigarette butt and we put it in a Ziploc and disposed it in the refuse container just right beside the stairway down there. So
Thank you.
that's my report. Not much of a report, but
That's all
more
right.
of a comment.
Made a point. Councillor Campbell.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. It's been a busy couple of weeks. Attended the Waterfront Steering Committee meeting, the Downtown Downtown Center Revite meeting. Attended the Destination Osoyoos official grand opening of the Visitor Center. Attended the museum open house, public open house, where our residents were updated on the future plans for the museum. I also attended the art gallery last weekend, where we had 2 young artists, one in ceramics and one in painting or sketching. That was just incredible. I don't know if it's still up. If it is, I'd encourage people to go and see it. And just the last thing was just the town turnout and the resident turnout for the photo of our support for the Humboldt Broncos down at Gyro Waterfront was spectacular and heartfelt. And what I'd like to do, if it's possible, is get a copy of the photo from Mr. McGuire, have it framed, and have the mayor send it over to their mayor as a token of our thoughts being with them.
Good idea. And I'd like to thank you, Councillor Campbell, for spearheading that campaign to get everybody down there. It was on short notice, and you managed to corral about 150 people down there, and with Mr. Romenko's help, get a town truck down, where I assume Mr. McGuire crawled up into the bucket and took a couple of great pictures. So thank you very much for spearheading that, and to Mr. Romenko for getting that organized. That was a great endeavor, and I know that there are many communities across the country and outside of our country that have done the same thing. So that was great. So I'm going to say ditto to all of the meetings that Councillor Campbell was at, because I think we followed one another to most of those. Last week, or last meeting and the meeting before that, Councillor Rhodes went on a bit of a rant about various things and kind of challenged the rest of us to get behind something that we felt very strongly about and go on a bit of a rant on our own. So I am going to do that because I had a book recommended to me. I'll tell you the name of it in a minute. And it was quite an interesting book. Originally was supposed to be on climate change, and instead it was on the toxic state of public discourse and how to clean it up. Well, I went down to the library, ordered the book, had it provided to me within 3 days, which I thought was pretty good. And it's called I'm Right and You're an Idiot. And the title of it intrigued me to begin with. It was written in 2016 by James Hogan. So it's several people were interviewed by the author, social scientists, consensus builders, lawyers, and linguists, and I wrote down a couple of the quotes from in the book, which really made sense to me, which is why I've been quite interested in reading it. Democracy requires space for compromise, and compromise is best won through acknowledging the legitimate concerns of the other. We need to bridge opposing positions, not accentuate differences. And I think about the pipeline argument. I think about things that are happening in other countries. Another one, debaters can criticize the views of others and and is often about winning, while dialogue is collaborative and focuses on exploring the common good. And I quite often listen on a Saturday morning to the debaters on CBC, and interesting that an issue is debated and there always ends up to be a winner, and maybe that's not the best way of doing it. We can't collaborate to solve global or systemic problems when we treat the other as enemies. That's another one. And the last one is success comes from understanding another's needs so fully that you can reshape the future together. And I just thought it was quite a fascinating book. The part about, I've sort of been reading the parts on the state of public discourse. I'm not sure I've figured out totally how to do the how to clean it up part. But I just thought it was, Councillor Rhodes asked for us to get behind something.
Do you want to mark her book report, or would you like me to?
I'm suggesting that if he had a library card, and if you did, you could certainly go down to the library and take it out yourself, because I'm going to return it when my time's up. Anyway, that's my report for today. And I'd just like to remind everybody that if you're interested in attending our public hearing today, it starts at 4 o'clock. So I need a motion to adjourn the meeting, please. Councillor Youngberg, Councillor King, all in favor. Thank you very much, everybody.